Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. Today I'm really happy to tell you that the market is finally seeing a significant bounce at a very important area. I mentioned that in my previous daily crypto update, how this was a logical area to get a bounce off of, right? We got that bounce off the 30 line on the RSI on the Bitcoin chart. So everything is advancing in the direction that we want it to. And I mentioned this in my previous video how we already were starting to see some early signs of some bullish signals, and these are getting further confirmed today. So I think that at this point, the market should be ready to start moving back up. I feel like in the short term, we definitely put in a low, and to be honest, I really feel like we can move higher from here and truly begin this recovery process. Of course, you can't expect every day to be great and up 20-30% across the board, but as long as we're moving in the right direction, that's what matters at this point. We can see over the past 24 hours, Bitcoin, Ethereum up over 5%, Litecoin up around 11%, and we actually have some really nice movers today. Lisk up 30%, back above $1 billion in market cap, moving back towards $10, and Verge back above $1 billion in market cap as well, up a massive 50%. So these two are truly able to capitalize on the bounce, which is great. And I think that they've both been a little bit suppressed due to recent market conditions. They will probably thrive a little bit better than others over the next few weeks if we're going to see this recovery, right? Which hopefully we will. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this. Do you feel like this bounce will last, or is it just temporary? Let me know in the comments below. But let's get right into the technical analysis. Right before that, make sure to check out my premium content for monthly cryptocurrency buying opportunities, as well as my Twitter. Link to both those in the description of this video. And let's get started with the Verge technical analysis. So as you can see, we are making our way back towards 10 cents. We got our break above 60 cents, which really pushed prices higher. Indicators are looking good here. Of course, this is a little bit of an excessive move because we're already pushing above that 70 line on the RSI, which is definitely bullish, but when we get this massive breakouts, it's pretty, it usually ends up in a bit of a pullback pretty quickly, but that's not the end of the world, right? Because what matters is that we're now breaking out of this little slump, and I should even draw our downtrend line because that is a very clean breakout of the downtrend line, and that's something that I shouldn't look past. So right over here, our downtrend line has now officially been broken out of, and basically, I feel like we're going to probably push a little bit higher, closer to 10 cents. Once we reach that 10-cent level, we're probably going to experience a little bit of a pullback, some consolidation. And like I said, if cryptocurrencies are going to be moving higher here over the next few weeks, I feel like Verge will probably be able to get back above 10 cents and really start climbing higher, right? Trying to get back to where it was previously. Now, let's go ahead and start off our normal schedule, starting off with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is now experiencing a nice little U-shaped bounce in the short term. We're trying to get back towards our uptrend line. We still have a lot of resistance at around $8,000, right? So we have to be careful. It's great that we're seeing the bounce, but we definitely could still see, resistance there and a bit of a struggle in that area. As for our short-term downtrend line, we're coming up on that right now, so we'll see within the next day if we're going to pull back a little bit or if we're going to manage to break back above that. We want to see, especially if the RSI can get back above the blue downtrend line, if we can get that positive crossover on the MACD, really the next day or two will be very critical in telling us if we're going to be able to push back maybe towards that into the symmetrical triangle formation, or if we're going to end up, experiencing some weakness and pulling back a bit. Either way, I don't think we're going to be dropping back, below $6,700. I feel like at the very least we're going to consolidate a little bit above that. And hopefully, we will see enough strength to break out of these short-term downtrend lines on the price and on the RSI to, start our recovery. Like I said, a lot of resistance ahead, so we can truly consider ourselves, in a safer position once we're out of the downtrend line, and as well as being, back towards $9,000, I'd say. Let's take a look at Ethereum next and see what it's been up to. So Ethereum is actually looking quite strong here. We have the beginning of a crossover above the orange line on the MACD. That is a great signal. We've been waiting on that. And that's actually the second crossover attempt, so it's more likely that it actually holds this time around. We broke out of our downtrend line on the RSI. We're moving back towards that 30 line. And for the price, we're trying to get back, towards that $450 mark, ideally $500. But we are now back above $400 and out of the short-term downtrend line, which is very good. So I think at this point we're probably going to slowly but surely try to move a little bit higher towards $450, and even $500. We're going to struggle with that $500 mark because that's where our middle band is at, and we also have our downtrend line. So those are the things I want to try to get back above to allow us to truly start moving back up higher. But I think at this point we're going to remain above $400 and, at least consolidate in this area, maybe move a little bit higher as well. So let's take a look at Litecoin next and see what's going on. Litecoin is experiencing a very nice green candlestick. It's back above the downtrend line on the RSI. We still want to get our positive crossovers on the MACD and histogram, but those are definitely coming up. We, of course, have a lot of resistance at $145. That's in line with the middle band, and just a lot of resistance based on the previous uptrend lines and downtrend lines. So anywhere between $145 and $165, there is a lot of resistance, and it's not going to be easy to get through. So I feel like we may struggle a little bit with that, still put in some consolidation around the levels we are now up until the red downtrend line, and then hopefully get a breakout there that will then allow us to move back above that $165 mark. Let's take a look at Nano next, which is actually acting like I said yesterday, right? I expected Nano to move back towards that 80,000 Satoshi level, and that's exactly what's happening. So that's due to the fact that we broke out of our downtrend and we now have this nice little uptrend line, which is carrying the price higher. Of course, there's resistance at 80,000 Satoshis, but I feel like we shouldn't struggle with that too much. Over the next few days, I feel like we should really be able to push closer to 100,000 Satoshis. Probably the next week or so, we should be testing those levels again. Let's take a look next at Ripple and see what's going on. So we're going to go over to the Bittrex chart here. And Ripple is actually acting well. We're back above 50 cents, which is great. We also got a very nice bounce on the RSI, broke out of the downtrend line. MACD and histogram still a little bit flat, so we could see some consolidation in between 50 cents and 65 cents a little bit longer. Once we're able to start moving back above 65 cents, that's when we're probably going to start pushing closer to 84 cents and then $1, and things should pick up from there, right? Because for now we're probably going to put in a little bit of consolidation due to the fact that we're still waiting on these Bollinger Bands and middle band to truly flatten out and then allow for the prices to move higher. Let's go ahead and take a look at Stellar Lumens, which, if I recall correctly, was already acting pretty strong yesterday, and we can see a little bit of a red candlestick here. That's probably due to the fact that when cryptocurrencies, kind of act against the herd and do better when others are still kind of struggling, we usually experience a bit of pullback just because it's a little bit ahead of the curve, and that's what's happening right now with Stellar. With that being said, it's nothing to really be concerned about. We should still continue our consolidation between 3,000 and 3,500 Satoshis. And as for the indicators, right, we're actually looking better than a lot of cryptocurrencies. Not overbought, which is good. And I think that we're just waiting on the Bollinger Bands to kind of expand a little bit to allow the prices to then come back up, above 4,000 Satoshis ideally would be great. That'll probably take just a bit of time, hopefully within the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we should really be starting to see a move towards that, right? And let's go ahead and take a look at Vertcoin next, see what's going on with Vertcoin. It's definitely been pushing towards its support level, so what's good is that we're now bouncing pretty significantly, right? We do have a longer upper wick, which means that buyers weren't able to sustain those higher price levels, but with that being said, we did get a pretty massive breakout. We're, back towards that middle band. Great bounce on the RSI. We actually put in a higher low there. Same thing on the MACD, so nice little uptrend going on both of those. Same thing on the MACD, that got that positive crossover as well as the histogram. And as for the actual price action, we're out of our downtrend line, which is a very good sign. That will definitely allow us to start moving higher now. We, of course, have a lot of resistance at around $2.20. So we're going to be paying attention to see if we can get back above that and then moving back above $3.23. Once we get back above $3.23, we'll kind of be back in our previous consolidation back here. So that will be a good thing, and I think that can happen within the next month. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next cryptocurrency, which is going to be Lisk. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, one of the bigger movers today. So we can see a massive green candlestick, great U-shaped bounce coming back, really completing the comeback here in the short term, and got that secondary crossover on the MACD. Hopefully this time it holds. Should normally. Great move on the histogram and massive breakout on the RSI back above the 30 line. So these are very bullish signals, and the price is even moving above $10 now. Hopefully we remain above that. Definitely could see it pull back a little bit, but if we do remain above $10, we really could see, you know, at least some consolidation between $10 and $12.15, and hopefully, you know, start pushing a little bit higher towards the downtrend line, the red downtrend line over here, and get our breakout above that. That will probably take a little bit more time, right? Maybe 2 or 3 weeks, but after that, we should really be able to move closer to $20 again. Let's go ahead and take a look at Cardano now and see what's going on. So Cardano is slowly but surely climbing higher. I'm going to go over to the Bittrex chart here to get our previous charting. But we've been advancing, you know, slowly but surely, like I said. So we're still between 2,000 and 2,500 Satoshis. But with that being said, our indicators are continuing this very nice uptrend in a very steady and safe manner. So we really got a nice U-shaped recovery here on the indicators. You can see that both on the MACD and histogram, and the price should follow in that pattern. We're still in a little bit of consolidation here, but slowly but surely we should start to pick up the pace like the indicators did. I think the indicators are kind of foreshadowing what's about to happen with the price. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our last cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update. That's going to be IOTA, and let's see what's going on. So IOTA is currently making its way back towards $1.13. Nice little higher low on the RSI, broke out of the downtrend line as well there, and we're just waiting for the MACD and histogram to pick up the pace a bit. We do have a lot of resistance at around $1.13. That was a very important level previously, and we also have the middle band around there. So it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. With that being said, I think that within the next week we can get back above that and start moving back towards $1.50. Probably going to need to put in a little bit more consolidation here, but I'm going to be looking for a move above basically $1.91 to kind of expect the pace to pick up, because until that, we're probably going to see some consolidation between $1.13 and $1.91. This is the end of this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Definitely check out my premium content and my Twitter. Link to both those in the description, and I'll see you next time.